So you want to plan a micro wedding? Well, step into my office as I break down all of the costs associated with a micro wedding that we literally just had 2 weeks ago. Okay, so here I have my handy dandy laptop. Throughout the entire process, I made an intensive spreadsheet that had the whole entire pricing breakdown, from the venue cost to the reception cost to the outfit cost to the decoration cost, just to all the costs in general. And now I'm going to walk you through how much you could estimate paying for your micro wedding. Now, the first thing we're going to get into is background. I want to give you some background information on why a micro wedding. If you don't want the background, absolutely positively feel free to skip forward and just get into the pricing and how much we spent. But if you want some background information, then I'll gladly give it to you. Also, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, so that way you can get more videos like this, more of me. And also, I want you to comment below and say if you think we spent over 10,000, under 10,000, under 20,000. I want you to guess before I give you the whole tea. So the background on why we decided to do a micro wedding is actually because we were having a nikah ceremony. So a nikah ceremony is a traditional Islamic ceremony, wedding ceremony. So the reason how this whole thing started, sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied and like all jumbo, I'm like nervous, but how it all started was we were going to do the nikah, just me and my now husband, and our parents, his mom, sister, and niece. That was going to be the basis when this originally started out. Mind you, we had started talking about this, planning this since January. So literally the top of the year. As soon as it turned 2024, January 1st rolled around. By January 2nd, we were already starting to plan and talk through what this would look like. It originally started out, it was going to be a backyard barbecue type situation in my parents' backyard. Literally very cute, very simple, very mindful, very demure. And then what happened was I had ran into somebody I used to work with when I worked for the city of Philadelphia, very random, in a Whole Foods, double, triple random. And she mentioned about how she was actually now the director of weddings at the Horticultural Center here in Philly. So I had hit her up after that encounter and was like, hey, how much would it be to do it at the Horticultural Center? We went to go see it, and it kind of took on a life of its own from there since we decided to go with the Horticultural Center. And I'll get into the reasons why later on after the beginning lore. But since we decided to go with the Horticultural Center, it would have looked really strange and weird if it was just like 6 people. We could have done it that way, but we figured we might as well invite our super close family and friends, because originally we planned to have this nikah ceremony first and then wait a year or two and then plan out a traditional white wedding. So that's the beginning lore. That's how it started. Additionally, I had never been to a nikah ceremony before in my life. Neither had he. We were both, it was a new process for the both of us, especially since here on YouTube, when you look up a lot of those nikah videos, it's more tied to a person's culture, and a lot of the traditions are cultural and not necessarily based in actual Islam. It's based on that culture's interpretation. There's like a lot of Pakistani weddings, which I watched and tried to understand what was going on, how we would even sit, because it's not like you stand 2 people like this in Islamic weddings. And I also talked to a lot of people within like the Philadelphia Islamic community to kind of understand what does a nikah ceremony look like. And from my research and talking to people and realizing it literally looks however you want it to. It's literally completely and totally up to you and how you want it to be done. So this was literally just the way that we did it. If you see this and you're like, oh yes, I want to do it a different way, girl, absolutely do your thing. Do your thing, 21. It's literally up to you. This was just how we decided to handle it. He is Muslim, I am not. I was raised non-denominationally, so I guess it's technically an interfaith marriage. So this was just our interpretation, how we decided to do it for our day. So now that we have the lore out of the way, we can start getting into the actual breakdown of the cost. So the first thing we're going to get into is the Horticultural Center, like I just mentioned. So we actually got the Horticultural Center for free 99. So that's $0 USD, no money down. We paid nothing to have it there. Like I said, I knew the director of weddings from a previous job I had with the city of Philadelphia, so we very much so really lucked out there. If you were to do it there, I don't know how much it actually costs, because I didn't even ask a question like that. If somebody says, oh no, we locked in, I know you can have this venue for free, just let me know today, you're absolutely not going to ask any single questions about costs or anything. So keep that in mind. The biggest expense most of the time when planning any sort of wedding, big or small, medium, little, extra small, doesn't matter, is actually the venue. So since we got the venue for free, that took a big relief off of our shoulders, because the venue was actually $0 for us. So yes, thank you so much. Love you, Bahia. So yeah, venue was free. Also, since the venue was free, we decided that we may want to do sort of like a reception dinner afterwards. So originally we looked at this one place called Marrakesh. It's here in Philly. It's actually I think it's Moroccan. Yeah, it's a Moroccan restaurant, which we love to go to so much. They give you 7 courses. It's $30 a person. I'm pretty sure it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's $30 a person. But that includes the 7 courses. So we were like, okay, we can literally go to the Horticultural Center and then tell everybody to meet us down there, and then that would be good. However, it then took on a little life of its own, and we decided to do Hudson Table after thinking about it a little bit more in depth. Hudson Table is it's not a venue-based situation, but it's a place where you can go and do classes. Like, they offer a lot of classes with chefs. Like, you can make pasta, you can do Indian food, you can do brunch. So they have like culinary experiences like that too. They also do kind of what is like Chopped, where they have like chefs face off head to head with certain ingredients. So they do both of those things there at Hudson Table. We had gone there before to do a cooking class. I had gone there before with my parents one time. It was like during the time of like COVID. It was my mom's birthday. Me, my mom, and my dad actually did this experience where we had the chef cook for us, and we ended up being the only people there. So it was super lit, super intimate, super perfect. So we had been there before. So we were like, Hudson Table may be the perfect place, but let's ask them how much it will cost. We asked some other restaurants around the Philadelphia area that we like to go to and frequent. Some people would come back and say $8,000. $8,000 just to have dinner there in like a private room. Especially as soon as you say the word wedding, it's over for you. That's something you need to learn immediately. If you plan on doing a micro wedding, I literally would not even say wedding at all. I would say birthday. I would say celebration, nondescript, before I say wedding. Because as soon as people hear the word wedding, all common sense out of the window, and they want to charge you a billion, chajillion, bajillion dollars. That's not the whole premise. So we asked some other restaurants in the area, and then Hudson Table had the best deal we felt like for us. So we wanted to keep it to 30 people. That was it. That was all. 30 people was our absolute limit. And if we could have kept it under 30, we absolutely positively would have. So 30 people, including family and friends. We didn't do like, you get 15 people, I get, no. It was just like, who we're going to go through, talk through, work out this little list, and it's going to be 30 people. So the base price for Hudson Table was $1,800, and then it was $20 per person. So since we had exactly 30 people, which we budgeted for, that was an additional $600, and then they also added tip and tax, and then you also to book had to do a $600 deposit, but literally the next day after the event, they refunded it back to me immediately. So altogether for the reception, this included, we got 3 different appetizers, 2 mains, a dessert, coffee. That came to $19.50. So that was the total for that. Also, since this was a nikah ceremony, we were like, yeah, we're not gonna buy any sort of alcohol since it was BYOB, where you can bring beer and wine, but we're like, yeah, that's not really what we're gonna do since this is an Islamic ceremony. In Islam, you don't drink. So my parents actually offered to purchase some wines and champagnes for guests. So I don't know how much they spent. Knowing them, probably $200, but that's not my concern because that wasn't in our budget. Amen, amen. So yeah, that came to $19.50. So that's where we're at so far. So the next thing we're going to get into, and probably honestly what we spent the most money on, would be the clothes, all the attire for the day. So first up, my main dress I wore, which I'll put a picture here, I'm assuming. Probably. I wouldn't put it there. I'm gonna put it here. So the main thing was my ceremony dress. That was kind of a challenge to find, only because everything is very much so hoochie mama these days, and I usually love a hoochie mama fit, but it's an Islamic wedding ceremony, so I needed to not be a hoochie. Also, we could have also had the actual ceremony right in the masjid, but that would have required me to wear a hijab, and since I typically just don't go around my life wearing a hijab, did I have to wear a hijab when we first started off this process? Because did we have to go to the masjid to get approval from the imam to actually get married and do like counseling classes at the masjid? Yes. Here's a picture of me in a hijab. I was really putting the work in. So I have worn hijabs before, especially when we're going to the masjid or Eid or anything like that. But for this actual ceremony day, I would have felt very not myself wearing a hijab. So I wanted to do it in a venue that I could still obviously cover with like a veil or something of the sorts. Like I wouldn't just be raw dogging it, but I didn't want to necessarily wear a hijab. And I have no problem with a hijab. It's just not something that I grew up just throwing on a hijab. So for me, it just feels like I'm like playing dress up. Not in a disrespectful way, but just in like a, it doesn't feel like me and I want to feel like me. So that is another tidbit of information. So it was really hard finding a dress at first because like I said, everything's a little hoochie moochie. And usually I love a hoochie moochie situation, but not for this. I wanted to be covered. All my shoulders, chesticles, I have a big chesticle region that had to be covered. And then I had figured if the back is out, I could cover it with long hair and also the veil, so I wouldn't be disrespectful to the imam, brother Amin. And I could wear the veil during the ceremony, and then if I want to take it off or I want to flip it back after, then I can. So that was kind of my situation. So I ended up finding this dress. I enlisted the help of my friend Emily because she literally loves to look at clothes all day long. So she was actually helping me a lot with all of the outfits that I wore. She basically dressed me for the entire weekend. But I ended up going on a Rat and Boa's website because I always loved their dresses, and I found the Rat and Boa dress for the actual ceremony on their website that was covered enough and that I could cover more with just long hair, the veil, and fashion tape. So that dress came to $385, which is like literally the fraction, like a fraction of the price of a normal wedding dress, like for a traditional ceremony. So that was great. I could have also went to any of the Islamic stores around here and found an outfit as well, but I wanted something super simple. I'm not a big rhinestone bedazzled girl, so I just wanted a really simple dress, and then I was going to dress it up with the veil. So the veil itself, we had gone to an actual, me and my mom had gone to an actual bridal store one random day, and we started looking at these veils. The veils for just a normal plain sheer veil started off between, I think the lowest they had was $200 and went all the way up to like $1,100, the ones that I looked at. And it would be simple. It was just sheer. It felt like just normal sheer material that I could have went to Joann Fabrics, got and put a clip in it myself and called it a day. So we first went there. I didn't see anything that stood out, but I remember Anthropologie has a fire wedding selection. So I went to Anthropologie, and lo and behold, I went there. They had veils. I actually saw this one veil, the veil that I actually wore, and it ended up being on sale. So that veil actually came to be only $50. I think originally it was like $250, and I got it for $50, and it was the last one. So I literally bought it and purchased it that day. So yeah, that I lucked out with that. I can't even lie on that I got lucky. So yeah, so that was the main dress in the veil. And then I wanted to change out of the dress. Once I got the rat and boa dress, I was going to wear it all day, but it was really narrow around the feet, so I was going to be having trouble walking. So I got another dress from Club L London for the reception. That was $180. It's actually great material for $180. I also tried to look at reception dresses at Anthropologie. $200. Some of the quality of those dresses, honestly, not that great. So $180 for a reception dress that I could also wear again. Sign me up. And then the big boy purchase of all of this was, I always wanted a designer heel that I could like keep for forever and ever. And then my friend Emily was telling me about how Jimmy Choo is like kind of the bridal shoe wear hub where the girlies get their bridal shoes. So I went there, looked. They actually went up to my size because I have big feet. Yeah, I do. And they were really inclusive with the sizing. So I went with them. Got a pair of heels from them that was $1,095. So that was like the real splurge purpose, but obviously I'll have those for the rest of my life. And that was like a first investment piece of designer wear. So I didn't really feel like it was like something like a dress that I'll only wear one time. And I'm probably going to wear that wedding dress again. I might bring it with me to the beach and take a beach photo shoot in that dress. These items are going to get reworn. Why would I pay $1 million gajillion to wear things once? I don't know. Maybe you got it like that. But I want to reuse my stuff. Yes, I do. So that was my total for my outfits. I ended up also getting some earrings from Anthropologie. They were also on sale. I paid $40 for those as well. And then for his outfit, he had to get the thobe. He got that custom made and fitted to him from, I think it was actually Dubai. And that came to $168. We were looking on Pinterest to see what men typically wore on their feet during a nikah ceremony. It seems like to be a lot of sandal slides type situations or sneakers, but because it was going to be fall, he wanted something that was more of a mule. So we were on the hunt for a mule. He found these really cool mules that he'll probably wear literally all the time, and that came to $248 for those mules. For his reception outfit, he wore a pair of True Religion jeans that he got on sale, a Pro Club white tee. Oh, the True Religions were $169. The Pro Club white tee was $37. The Supreme Martin Rose hoodie came to $208. Again, it's fall. And the Supreme Arabic cap that he wore too came to $58. So we were spending some money on clothes and shoes and accessories and all that. We really wanted to be dressed to the nines, even though it was going to be a small affair. We had to be decked out, dressed for sure. Now is the day of, and let's say you want to get your hair done, you want to get your makeup done, and you need a photographer. So let me break down the prices of those. For the hair, which is still currently in my head, I actually went to my girl that I go to all the time, Enhanced Beauty. Yes, my girl Ritz. So I had gone to her that Monday. Our ceremony was on a Friday, and I had got this installed, the sew-in installed, and I had paid her $220. I don't think that's her normal price. I think that's just what I sent, because I always in making a video about her and being there because I love her so much. So a lot of times, honestly, she doesn't even attempt or try to charge me. So I just be sending her money. That's like the moral of the story. So I sent her $220. The hair was actually from this Amazon brand called Trippy Hair, and they had sent me hair before because I use their hair majority all the time. That's usually like the only hair that I use because I think it's a good price and it's reasonable, and I reuse it and I just love it. So they have sent me hair before, so I already had these bundles for a while because they had sent them to me, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna save them exactly for the ceremony. So the day of the ceremony, she came in and all she had to do was basically curl me up and relay down my edges and hang out and get to enjoy the ceremony. That was literally it. That was all. But we have that relationship. So yeah, that's what I did for hair. For makeup, my friend Kayla had a baby shower in June. I really loved the way that her makeup was done. So I booked with the same girl. Her name's Tiandra M Makeup. I'm pretty sure on Instagram. I'll add her @name so that way you can find her as well. She's super professional. She got there before I even did. She set up. She was great. She was in and out. She was efficient. She ate down with the look. So it was a $50 deposit to book her, and then I paid $200. She actually didn't even know she was doing a wedding because I didn't even tell. I told very few people. So she thought I was just, I don't know, like, I don't really know what she thought. I should probably ask her, what did you think you was doing? She thought I just needed my makeup done and I was about to take pictures in the Horticultural Center. And then she realized when she got there, like, oh no, this was a wedding. And I was like, yeah. So yeah, I paid $250 for my makeup. It lasted all day. Could I have done my makeup myself? Yeah, absolutely. Did I want to? No. Let's take a water break. My mouth. Refreshing. So I didn't want to do that myself. I kind of wanted to sit there and relax and not be stressed out and not worry about it. So yes, don't regret that. And then Xavier's haircut is $50. He didn't really get anything else done the week before as well. And if you've seen the vlogs, then you know I also kind of sort of, when it came to like me getting a facial beforehand. So Heyday had asked me to come in and make a video of like trying one of their new services for dermaplaning. So I actually just used that opportunity for that service as a part of like the pre-wedding prep. So I just scheduled it the week before, so that way I would get the service for free. I could make a video because I was going to have to make a video anyways. Like if I agreed to the facial, that's kind of what's like expected of you. But I got the service and it could just be included in all the content and videos I would have been making anyway. So that worked out. And also I did that for bulk brow for my eyebrows. I don't get my eyebrows waxed. I don't have luscious eyebrows. So when they said we're going to shape them, tint some, make them look great, I said okay, So those services were free to me essentially. So I didn't even count those in because it was things I didn't have to do. And I probably wouldn't even have gotten my eyebrows done before. I would have just like trimmed them myself. So that worked out. Now, here are two costs that are going to run you, well, no, actually it's two different things, but one cost that's going to run you some money. Photography. Please, photography, these wedding photographers are insane in the men brain. If you're a wedding photographer and watching this and you have these crazy prices, girl, get it how you live, but they're insane. We had talked to quite a few photographers just to see like the vibe and how much it would be. $1,500 for a day. That was like the normal standard that we were getting, between $1,500 or up. Like it was nothing in another more reasonable price range, where like the ceremony, a nikah ceremony only takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and then by the time we do all the pictures, you're not even going to be there for more than 2 hours. So we really didn't need a full day package. Do you know what I mean? We needed like a half a day, up to 3 hours maximum, and that would have covered it. So paying $1,500 when we don't have bridesmaids, we don't have groomsmen, like I don't know what I'm paying all that money for. So I found David's son's photography. I really liked his shooting style. It was more moody. It looked less posy traditional, which I wasn't necessarily a fan of. I'm not necessarily a fan of, because I've said it before and I said it again. I'm pretty anti-bride when it comes to a lot of my stances on things. I think that the wedding industry is insane for charging this much for what should be a happy day in people's lives. I think that a lot of the different setups, like a bridal shower and an engagement, like, it'd be too many parties, it'd be too many things for me. I just can't handle it mentally. If you like to do those things, I love that for you. Invite me. I will attend everything with a smile. For me personally, I'm not really a fan. And then when I started looking on Pinterest and stuff, I realized that I like more of a film photography type of candid moments. Like, that's the stuff I like. Almost where it feels like a documentary and not just everybody like. So when I found him, I was like, this is perfect. I explained to him the situation. I explained to him that I was in the car. I explained to him that it wasn't traditional whatsoever. I explained to him that I did my traditional photos. I made a mood board, everything. He said, okay, I'll do it for $560. And with the $560, we would get like the edits. I meant the digital photos would be edited. He would choose our top 20 selects and put them in like a book as a keepsake book, and we would get a flash drive with like our memories. So it was some things included with the package that I'm like, okay, $560, I can play that for the photographer, and I won't feel like, oh my god, we spent a bajillion dollars. Like, and it'll be shot in a style that I like, that's not so traditional. I don't want somebody to show up with just a digital camera and snap pictures. I have a digital camera. I could just get one of my friends to take the pictures. You know what I mean? I want to feel like I'm there. I want to feel in the moment. Sorry, I have allergies, so that's why I keep touching my nose. I'm not picking for gold. And I felt confident with that. We felt like it was a good decision. And additionally, I would say we started looking for him, or a photographer in general, around, I would say, it was before April, like end of March, beginning of April, May, because we wanted to be ahead on the timeline. But again, we began planning everything in January. So yes. And then I realized that while he would handle all the photography and everything like that, that I would probably need somebody to capture everything for social media. So I would need a social media person to do all the things that I was going to be worried about doing the day of. So that means capturing like the little detail videos, capturing like little transitions with like me and my friends, or me and my family, or just little moments like that, getting the venue, getting how we had to set up, the reception, getting the vibe, like all those little videos that I would later want to post for social media. Even filming the YouTube video, I wanted somebody to do that, so that way I'm not in the middle of getting married and I'm like, hey guys, I'm getting married. Like, no. So I kind of put up something on my story. If you had seen my story that day, it was pretty random and vague. I just said, hey y'all, I need somebody to help me with something on this date. Are you available? Blah, blah, blah. People responded, which I gotta talk to y'all about in a separate time, because if a strange person, me, is just saying, do you want to help, and I don't have no real details, you should ask more questions. A lot of y'all didn't ask more questions. I appreciate that y'all trust me, but you shouldn't trust everybody that you see off the internet. I could have been a crazy serial killer. I'm not, but I could have been. And then I went through a bunch of people's profile and information, and I was really happy that people even submitted. I'd be forgetting that, like, I don't know, I'd be scared when I post stuff like that. But then I saw this one girl stuff, and she actually included wedding stuff, even though I didn't say anything about a wedding. And her name was Maggie. Love you, Maggie, the GOAT. So she came that day. She actually loves doing events and loves doing weddings. I'll tag her Instagram here as well. That's her business Instagram if you want to hit her up for any of your needs. So yeah, Maggie really helped and really almost low-key, high-key saved the day, because she had experience with weddings and stuff. So she made sure that I was on track, that we were on time, that she was getting everything, that I had enough footage, so that way when I sit down and want to edit and post the stuff, I have all the footage ready to go. So that was great. She only tried to say $200 for her services, but she was literally with me from like 12:30, because the ceremony was at 3. So she probably got there around 12:31, And she ended up hanging out with us like the entire night, like until like we damn near went to sleep. It was lit. We had a great time. So yeah, I paid her $300 for that, the full day services, and we're definitely gonna work together again, just because she gets it. She's a girl that gets it. So now at this point we're like friends. We're like friends. So I'll be seeing her again. But yeah, she really did help me out. She made the vlog that you guys saw on YouTube when I announced we were even married. She really is the GOAT. Drum roll, please. Now is the moment that you have all been waiting for since the beginning. So in total, for everything that I mentioned throughout this video, we spent $6,637.71. So we actually spent under 10,000 US dollars. That included the outfits, that included the decorations, that included the services, that included the venues. $6,637, and we had 30 people there. Mind you, I had literally lost my job at the beginning of September. We were already done by that point, so that was really a praise to Jesus moment, because we were already done everything by then. The only thing that I had to worry about was paying people the day of, but I already had budgeted for that, so that was really no sweat off my bag, no additional surprise expenses. But in conclusion, I think that you can have an absolutely great ceremony with, I would even say, you could probably replicate the same thing with more people, like I would say 40 maximum, but it would definitely get more expensive. But you can have a cute, intimate micro wedding that doesn't feel super cheap, or like you like cut a million gajillion corners. I feel like, obviously, if I didn't get those shoes and just got like a regular pair of shoes from like DSW or I don't know, Stuart Weitzman, like, or Nordstrom or some other place that weren't $1,000 shoes, we would be at $5,000. So there are definitely things you can splurge on and cut back on if you like have a budget, for sure. I don't think that weddings have to be a gajillion dollars. If you want a mega wedding, you should absolutely do what you want to do, but you can absolutely plan out a nice micro wedding. I mean, also, I know that we got the Horticultural Center venue for free, so that was like a large expense lifted. But honestly, girl, you can find a venue that you like, probably in a range. Also, use your connections. If you know so-and-so's sister that used to work at so-and-so place, hit them up. Don't be afraid to ask. You might be surprised how people want to work with you. Or just do something outside. Just plan around the time of year that you want to do and cut that cost a different way. Or spend more on the menu and then just don't have no decorations, or do something else for the decor at the reception. It's so many different ways that you can play with it, even down to what you wear, down to who you hire. You could do your own makeup, do your own hair, save money there if you want, but you can absolutely have a nice situation, a nice micro wedding for an affordable cost. Now, when I look at the 6,000, I'm like, okay, great. I feel great that this was under $10,000, and that we did it in a way in which it didn't feel like, oh my God, we're so stressed, we're doing this for everybody, and like, no. I look at that and I'm like, okay, great. Like, I feel great about that. That was money well spent. We broke it down. We had a timeline. Everybody was on the timeline, and we got to enjoy the day without breaking the bank. Still continued to save the entire time we planned this. It was just, instead of ordering Uber Eats every single day of the week, or Friday, Saturday, and maybe even Sunday, you just do it Friday. Instead of doing a date night every week, you just do it every month, you know? And then you'll still have that disposable income. You're just taking that disposable income and putting it to support something else for that time. So yeah, that is the complete micro wedding budget breakdown. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything I didn't cover, anything you feel like you still want to know, need to know, comment below. Hit me up on Instagram if you have any questions about your ceremony. Hit me up on Instagram as well. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, here, subscribe, like, all that. I'm so happy you watched. I'm so happy we get to talk about this now. More videos coming soon. Love you so much. Bye.